winning prize was Disneyland tickets. And I had never been to Disneyland, right? So I won the tickets. I give it to my mom, and my mom, typical mom, she puts it in an envelope. She puts it away. Mijo, cuando tengamos tiempo, te llevamos, right? So they were always working very hard. They never had money. So it was finally a weekend that they were available to take us. And my mom opens up the envelope, and the Disneyland tickets had expired.
Oh, no.
I was heartbroken, you know? But the ability that I was able to accomplish that. So I always knew that I like that type of business. So after the whole roofing, when I was in high school, remember I told you that I had to pay for more expenses because my parents didn't have much. So I wanted to kind of not be an expense. So I started going, me and my older brother, we started doing door-to-door newspaper contract sales. So around the neighborhood where I grew up, they were putting these signs, get a job while you're at school.
Yeah.
You'll take the little stubs from the bottom. It had a number.
Right.
So we called it. We took the stub, and me and my brother started working. It was called Clockwork Marketing, and it was a newspaper. We used to sell newspaper contracts for the LA Times, right? So it was like about 13 years old. They used to pick us up. I was at 14 or 15, actually. It was when I was already in high school. And they used to pick us up in this van. It was a big, like, 10-passenger van. They just pick us up right after we got home from school, drop us off into like a random neighborhood, and we just have to go door to door selling the LA Times contracts.
You are a salesperson by heart.
Yeah,
you finished high school, I guess, and you went to college, something.
So I went. I was going to school, and then I got a scholarship. I was one of the kids from my school. It was about only a handful of people. I applied for Cal State Dominguez Hills, so I got accepted. And, you know, I was able to get the financial aid, and there was a scholarship there for Hispanic students. And I interviewed, and I beat out like 10 of the students, so they gave me a scholarship to go to Cal State Dominguez. And I went, but I did not graduate. I ended up dropping out of college. The reason being is that at the time, you know, I had my little girl that was already getting big, so I was having kind of issues with the mom. And I was working a full-time job, plus trying to juggle about 15 units at the time. So Monday through Thursday was in school all day, having issues with the mom. And then my little girl was already a dad. And I need to take a break. You know, I just needed to take a break for myself. So I decided to take a semester off.
How did you get into real estate?
So it's a big journey to get to where I'm at right now. I've done everything. I've sold everything that you can possibly think of. And just through that journey, I kind of landed in real estate. I always knew I wanted to do something, and I wanted to be my own boss, but I just didn't know what. So what set me off on getting my mindset right, because where I grew up, I didn't really have mentors. Nobody was really a good business person. My parents were great people. They taught me good morals, but they didn't have a business. They always used to try to sell stuff, but they never really had a business. So I had to I got invited by one of my buddies from high school to a network marketing meeting, and that's where I kind of came across changing my mindset. I started reading the books, listening to the audios, and I started thinking differently. There was a book that I read at about 18 years old called Think and Grow Rich, right? So I always started thinking entrepreneur, rich dad, poor dad, right? So I started getting my mindset kind of reprogrammed. So I was already going to school and college, and I had a regular job, and I wasn't really happy there anymore. I gave them so many years of my life, and they kicked me in the rear end when they didn't want me anymore.
Right. You're a number.
Yeah, exactly. So that sent me into a spiral of things, of doing different things that led me into real estate. So then I started doing business to business sales. I used to sell these credit card machines, and I used to sell the credit card machine service, right? So I was working there. Didn't work out because the guy that was running it was just not doing a good job. But right there, I met this gentleman. His name is Stephen Lee, and he wanted to do what was called a chain of Mexican food restaurants in China, right? But that was his goal. And since he said that, you're Mexican, you speak Spanish, I could use you, you know? He wanted to do it kind of like the King Taco thing over there in China. So he found out that I had left that office, and he offered me to go work at his lonchera, you know? So I was going through a lot of stuff already, So
you were jumping from all over. I mean, all kind of jobs.
Journey. Yeah, and I was
a journey.
There's always challenges every step.
You're talking about what year now?
This is about 2009, 2010. I graduated high school in 2000. 2004. I went into college in 2005, and I was working at a beer company there.
Okay.
That was beer.
So you were talking about 10 years ago or
10,
something
15,
like that.
yeah, 12.
So you were
10,
right in the
12 years ago.
bubble. So 2008.
2008, all that
So
stuff.
you were on real estate on
I was in
2000?
that. I didn't join real estate until after the crash had happened. I joined real estate about 2011, 2012.
Was that a need, desperation move? Was like, I don't have any
I kind of feel
other
on
option?
it. I kind of feel on it by kind of like chance. Like I had mentioned to you, I had gone through so much. The lonchera business didn't work out with them, and every time I would try to, I was starting to go up, something would happen, and I'm starting back at square one, and I just kept pushing myself. I said, there's something better for me. I worked at Verizon for about a year, but I wasn't happy there. So from Verizon, my buddy approached me, the same guy that had approached me in the network marketing, to go start a credit repair office with this individual. So this is where my real estate journey happened. Is I ended up leaving Verizon, a secure job. I was already getting back on my feet. I was starting to make money again. And here I go, taking a shot again, taking a risk to something that I didn't know. And I ended up jumping to doing the credit repair office. The guy turned out not to be a good business person, but luckily that credit repair office was inside a real estate company. So because of that, I started working with a lot of agents, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong business. I started seeing what these guys were doing. There was a lady there that liked what I did and how I handled her customers, and she told me, hey, you'd be good for hard money loans, and hard money loans are loans that we would do for people that are trying to fix and flip houses. Right. And I didn't know anything about real estate, but I was the type.
You didn't know anything about flipping houses.
I didn't know anything about loans.
What a flip, a loan.
Nothing. But I always knew that I just had to work hard. I had to work hard. I had to talk to enough people, and things were going to happen.
Were you concerned about so many people doing real estate at the time? Because it was like like an epidemic, like a flu. Everybody was doing
so everybody
real estate.
left when the market crashed.
Yeah.
We weeded out a lot of the bad agents too, because there's a lot of bad agents doing bad stuff, and when I jumped in, it was starting to pick up again. The market was starting to get better, but it was still fairly low. There was a lot of short sales, a lot of people that were losing their houses still to foreclosure.
Yeah, of course.
So I came in there, and that's kind of what kind of helped me, because I like to help people. That was always my thing. I like to help.
Right.
So I was seeing people in these type of situations, and we'll give them help through the short sale situation and helping them kind of save the debt and get out of that stressful life that they were having to hold on to this house that was not producing anything for them, So from the hard money loans, I started doing the flips just by chance. I didn't know what I was doing, but I started working hard. I started talking to enough people, found my first flip property. So I did flips before I even started helping on the regular real estate side. So
how did you go from being an agent into launching your own company? I mean, that's a big jump.
Yeah, so
that's a flip.
Yeah, it's a flip. It definitely is a different monster. I was already figuring out the real estate industry. I was already getting and helping buyers and sellers, and I did fairly good my first year. I helped a really good amount of families. I did really good for my first year.
Yeah, good money.
Second year and third year, and I started just kind of I started getting a following of people that started seeing what I was doing, because I'm huge in social media. I do a lot of Instagram marketing, and I was already getting a following, and people used to tell me, hey, why don't you start your office? Because in the office I was with, great lady, but there was no training, no really support. It was only like me and 3 other agents there, and I knew there was always something better for me. So there was an opportunity to go in to get my own office, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready financially. I wasn't ready for anything. But again, I took the leap of faith. I said, you know what?
And you opened your agents?
Yeah. So
how did it happen?
There was a couple that used to work at that office I was at, and they were working under my team, and I was helping them, and I was already training a few of the agents and helping them out. They go, I'm already the only one producing here. Why don't I just go open up my own? So these people kept pushing, like, hey, why don't you open up your own? Why don't you do your own office? So I go, look, I wasn't ready, but things happen for a reason, right? So these people left. The office they moved into, there was somebody that was going out of business there. So there was going to be an open a space that was opening up. And they go, hey, Jose, this would be a good office for you. It's a small little office. And I didn't think I was going to get it, but I said, you know what? Let me apply. So I went and applied for the office. And I told the lady, look, I make my payments on time, but my credit's not the best, so I don't know how it's going to work out because I never leased an office, but I'm definitely interested. And I guess she saw the hunger in me and she goes, hey, you got to prove, do you still want the office? And I go, yes, I do. But at the time I had a property that was, flipping, that I was remodeling, and all my money was going to that property. So I was getting my commission checks from the real estate side, helping buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
And it was just eating up a lot of my funds. So thankfully, there was a property that closed, a family that moved to Victorville. It was a $5,000 check. And with that $5,000 check, I was able to put the $1,750 deposit into the office to secure it.
Awesome. And so what did you see in real estate that was attractive to you? There was something besides helping people, because
that was a big thing.
I know helping people is great, and they say that if you give to the people what they are looking for, you're gonna have a lot in return.
Exactly.
Right?
They say if you worry enough about other people's bills, yours will be taken care of.
I'm seeing two things. First, three actually: the principles, the ethical, the moral inside you, which is great. The drive to do something good, but also you used to read, so you kind of were into the learning mood always, which is fantastic for anybody that wants to start a business. You have to learn, you have to expand your universe.
I always tell people always read, always learn. They say the mind is like a wallet. Once it expands, it never goes back to its normal state.
Right.
So the reading and the books and the audios do help.
Right. And then you go to this industry and you want to expand, you want to, to help people that we were mentioning, and now you are in the industry. So beside all of this, what did you see in the industry that was attractive to you beside helping people? Money was easy, it's difficult.
Real estate is not, it's simple. People make it complicated, but it's not easy. They say if it's easy, it's easy. It's very hard work. I mean, this business is going to test you. It's going to make you want to throw in the towel. For many months when I was first starting in the real estate, I didn't have a deal. It takes time for you to get your first deal. Months. I remember that my first flip property, it took me 3 months to first find it. And then from those 3 months, it took me another 3 months before it sold. So 6 months.
6 months just for the first deal.
6 months for me. But I didn't quit. I kept pushing. I knew that there was something there.
That's a secret.
I knew real estate was a good vehicle and a good opportunity where many people. They said 95% of the millionaires became so in real estate.
Right. That's true. Now, what I'm hearing is that for anybody that wants to start or to jump into this business, you need to be patient, but at the same time, you need to be relentless.
Patient is important. I think the problem with a lot of today's society and the stuff that's put on social media is that people think they want instant gratification. They want things to happen now, right away. Right. And no, this is a journey. This is a true journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you have to be okay with that. You have to embrace the journey. What I mean is people can't even wait in the drive-thru more than 20 seconds before they're already complaining, right? And that's a problem because people put so much stuff and they think that getting to that level, it's so quick and easy. It takes a lot of sacrifices. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of you. And your goals are the ones that are going to drive you and propel you to get to that.
How do you make your living 6 months to get the first deal?
I was having my credit repair business on the side, so I was making a little bit of money on there. And then I was finding the flips at the time. It was a few times that I was behind my bills. My credit was getting pretty messed up, right? But I just believed that this was going to be my way out.
So is this a solo gig or you need a team?
So when I got into owning my own office, I decided because I needed a broker at the time. I was in a real estate broker. That's when my business partner came into the picture. So once I decided I want to open up my own office, I only had enough money for the deposit and enough money to buy furniture. So I needed a partner, and my partner came in with the first month's rent. And that's how come we started. So together, within the first 6 months of opening up our own office, we outgrew that first office. So within a year, we were already moved out of the first office, and now we're in a 34. So the first office was only 1,100 square foot office with like 4 private offices.
Right.
But together, through the marketing, through just working hard and pushing and attracting those people from social media and training them, we moved into our building that we have now, which is about 3,500 square feet. We grew into now 3 locations, which is an Oxnard location. We have a Whittier satellite office, and we have our main office that's in Downey. We
So you have 3 locations.
Yeah.
How many employees?
We have about over 40 agents right now.